Why I Will Never Marry from Deeper Life Church. Sister Benita's painful story. Sometimes the deepest wounds in life are not caused by enemies outside, but by family inside. Sister Benita thought she had found God's plan for her marriage, pure, holy, and ordained. But one decision from the church committee shattered her dreams. This is her story. Childhood and early faith. Benita's story begins in a small but vibrant town in Nigeria. Born into a Deeper Life Bible church family, her home was filled with the sound of early morning devotions, the rustle of Bible pages, and her mother's firm but gentle voice quoting scriptures. Her father, though respected in the community, never truly embraced Christianity. He attended church on Christmas and Easter, but his life remained distant from Christ. Her mother, however, was the very definition of a devoted Christian, a woman who lived by the 22 doctrines of the Deeper Life Bible Church, clothed in modesty, prayer, and unshakable conviction. As a little girl, Benita often heard her mother's words. "My daughter, marriage is not about beauty or wealth. It is about walking in God's holiness. Trust Him, and He will write your love story." Painful loss and struggles. When Benita was just 13, tragedy struck, the sudden death of her mother. The woman who had been her spiritual pillar was gone. The house grew cold, and her father, with his lukewarm faith, could not fill the gap. Yet, in the middle of tears, Benita clung to her mother's Bible. She whispered prayers at night, alone in her room, asking God to help her remain faithful. Her academics became her focus. She struggled at first, balancing house chores with schoolwork, but she persevered. Whenever she felt weak, she remembered Philippians 4 verse 13. "I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me." NYSC and the meeting that changed everything. Years later, during her National Youth Service Corps posting in Benin City, Benita's faith became a shining light. She joined the Deeper Life Campus Fellowship, where she sang in the choir and evangelized to fellow corpers. It was there she met Brother Osaze, a gentle and godly young man. He was not flashy, not worldly, just humble, prayerful, and passionate about serving God. They often found themselves assigned to the same evangelism teams, sharing tracts and praying together. Osaze admired Benita's boldness for Christ. One day after fellowship, he approached her respectfully. "Sister Benita, I believe the Lord is leading me. I have prayed, and my conviction grows stronger every day. Would you allow me to seek God's will with you concerning marriage?" Benita's heart raced. She had prayed for years that God would bring her a man of faith, not riches. And now, here he was. They both agreed to follow the church's marriage process carefully. They prayed separately, sought counsel, and waited. When Osaze was sure, he approached the marriage committee with his intention. The elders asked questions, examined his spiritual life, and then called Benita in. Everything seemed fine, until one detail came up. The committee discovered that before the official process began, Benita and Osaze had exchanged WhatsApp chats about Bible verses and prayer points. Though innocent, the committee considered it a violation of protocol. The painful rejection. On the day they were called back, both walked into the committee room with faith in their hearts. But the verdict crushed them. "This courtship cannot proceed. You have both broken the guidelines by communicating privately before due approval. God is not a God of disorder." Benita felt her world collapse. She tried to explain. "Sir, we only discuss scriptures, not romance." But her words fell on deaf ears. The decision was final. That night, she cried herself to sleep. Her diary entry read, "Lord, how can something so pure be rejected? Did you not say, 'It is not good that man should be alone'? Why then is man's protocol greater than your leading?" Days turned into weeks. Osaze, broken-hearted, requested prayers from his pastor but eventually left the fellowship. Benita, meanwhile, continued to attend church, but her heart was heavy. Every sermon about obedience to authority felt like a dagger. One evening, as she walked home from service, a sister whispered, "Benita, maybe God didn't want you two together." But deep inside, she knew the truth. They had both been pure, prayerful, and sincere. It wasn't God who said no, it was the system. Her final resolve. Months later, Benita completed her NYSC and returned home. Suitors came from other denominations, but she refused, still holding on to her deeper life conviction. Yet the scar remained. One Sunday afternoon, after enduring gossip and silent judgment, she whispered to herself, "I will never marry from this church again. Not because I hate God's holiness, but because I cannot let human protocols destroy God's leading in my life." Benita's story is not one of bitterness but of awakening. She learned that while structures can guide, they must never replace God's voice. Her final words echo this truth. Man may deny, but God never fails. My future is in his hands, not in the hands of committees. Beloved, what do you think? Was the committee right? Or did they stand in the way of God's plan? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. If this story blessed you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more faith-building stories.